Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are in this world. Well, my name's Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today we're taking a look at Outgrowth by Aqeel Aadam and BlankFor.ms. And it's wonderful. Very, very awesome. Just grab onto your ankles and let's go. Yo, what's going on? Hi, I'm Jade, and this is How to App on iOS, and of course, I hope you're doing okay. Welcome. We don't have a lot of time. We've got to get through all of this today, but welcome if you're watching on the live stream. Welcome if you're watching on the replay. I want to tell you about a few things because I got new merch. Finally, new merch is available. The links are in the description. You can get a selection of Metheist clothing. Cool, Metheist with a new design as well with the band on the front and all that jazz. How cool is that? Metheist, yes, back in action. We've got t-shirts, stuff. Now, this is an ever-growing new thing, right? So there will be more things added. New UNT clothing. Are you an UNT? Well, you can become an UNT with a selection of UNT, Super UNT, Mega UNT, Massive UNT, the biggest UNT. We have all types of UNT clothing. When you look at them on the back, they have the biggest UNT. How awesome. So we got lots of UNT clothing, UNT stuff for the ladies as well in the old UNT club there. You got to be a part of the UNT club. Everybody loves to be a part of the UNT club. Plus, we got some new mugs. So we got UNT clubs. We got massive UNTs, super UNTs, biggest UNT. We got all the UNTs if you want to get some merch. Links are in the description and all that jazz. How cool. New shirts and stuff from my bands and stuff will be available as well. Hello to Ed Zielinski. What's going on? Hello to Riverbend Sim. Thomas Christ slinging links like there's no tomorrow. Thank you very much, Thomas. There's the merch. Boom. Become a Wart Warrior for $1. Become a member. Get emojis and stuff. Join the Patreon where we do giveaways each week. And I master your music. Super chats and super stickers. They're welcome and stuff. And here we are. We are ready to go. Ty Man, hello. Jim Shannon on sounds. Brad Examples in the house. Ali Gratilla. And Denise, hello to you, Denise. I think I got you all. Thanks, Leela, for the dump. Now, today, I wasn't aware of this. Hey, Aqeel, what's going on? Here's our developer right here in the chat. So welcome. It's always nice having devs come along and hang out with us, especially when the app's really good. Yeah? Also, Thomas Christ is up next. Now, I don't have a dump set, Thomas, because Russ has his radio show, and I'd already set a dump for that. I didn't know you were doing this show. So make sure you put a link in at the end of the show, Thomas, to your stream. Let's get to it. Let's talk about this because this app is wonderful, and I can't wait to show it to you as soon as I get this up on the screen. Good. Now, Aqeel, it makes some really, really, really rad apps. You may know him from previous apps, yes, that have been out before. As we go down here, Waymaker, Ridge, Walk, and Weeping Wall, all incredible apps. Outgrowth is a little bit different because this is a collaboration between Aqeel and, now I don't know, I think I'm saying this, is it BlankFor.ms? Do I say it like that? Because whenever I put it into any kind of website, it turns it into a website because of the .ms. But these two came together to make this virtual instrument. So it is a virtual sample-based instrument. It's not a sampler, right? Let's get that out there right now. You can't like record stuff into this. You can't go out and sample things. It is like an instrument-based sample. I think like Soundbox kind of thing, yeah, but way weirder and more interesting, like stranger, if that makes sense. So these two came together and basically built this thing, and then BlankFor.ms come up with the samples and such, and they created this thing. It's $14.99. It works on your iPhone, works on your iPad. Those are the two places it works. I need to let you know there is a current bug at the moment, but it's been fixed. It's not going to affect hardly any of you, only someone like me who uses the Magic Keyboard, right? So it's a little mouse issue, but it's already been submitted and all sorted out. So don't panic, my friends. It's just, guess what? Apple goes on holidays because the best thing to do with a virtual store is to close it over Christmas. That makes total sense, doesn't it, in 2025? Thanks, Apple. Good stuff. So we'll deal with that. Now let's get into it, and let me show you how this thing works. Oh, also, it is available on the desktop as well. So desktop people, don't get freaked out because you can get it on a desktop. Here it is here, $65 US. Waymaker and Ridgewalker, you can get these, and Weeping Wall. From AqeelAadamSounds.com. I'll make sure the link is in the description to the website here, but that's where you can get it if you want these on desktop. There's also a bundle here where you can get the previous 3 together for 120 mullahs, yeah? Oj, happy days, we good, we clear on the prices, everything rocking. Here's my little project I've got here. I've got 2 instances of it running. We've got a Boogs, we've got a Hammerhead, got a Scaler, we've got a Waymaker over here, and we also have a Ridgewalk plugged in, and we're going to make some sounds. I'm going to hit play, shut my mouth, and you're going to hear what it does. How cool. Let's Oj. Lovely stuff. All right, let's clear this project out of here and let's get into it, shall we? So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, we're going to load this up. So this is loaded as an instrument, of course, Outgrowth. Works on in your DAWs as you like. Let's go through the interface and get started. Top corner, settings. We want to always come up here and connect the keyboard to it straight away. Parameters are open. Lots of parameters for you to play around with as well, but there is a very deep and rich ADSR and modulation section for LFOs. So there's plenty of that already built in, right? But you can go in here and go nuts with more if you really want to go and do all that as well, yeah? Settings up the top here. There is an EQ built into these settings. So you have a low, mid, and high, just to add some polish and shine to your sample, your instrument, whatever you create with this. And we've got some crossovers here between the, spit it out, idiot, between these, right? So you've got your crossovers. You can come in here and add whatever you want. Up and down, drag, right? So it's completely up to you. Double tap and it'll reset any of these. MPE controlled is available. Now, you just saw, if you're in the chat here live, Ruben Sim said there was a bug with the MPE. It has been fixed as well, so don't panic. Voices, you can add up to 20 voices, depending on your iPad-aroo, yeah, or whatever you're using. 8 is the, you can go all the way down to 1. So for your polyphony, we'll leave it at 8 for now. MIDI channels, usual stuff. Increased stereo, we'll come back to this, right? So this just adds a little bit of width to whatever you've made in here. And it's really nice. Sorry, that's a re-trigger. Increased stereo is up here. You have a re-trigger button here. So you can turn this off. It'll be like a global re-trigger that will affect across everything. Tooltips. Let's talk about the tooltips because they're very handy. You can turn these on and off. As you can see, they're very handy to have. Whenever I hold on something, you get a little explanation if you're getting a bit lost. Now, great for when you're starting out on this thing. If you get a little bit lost, explanations are there. And when you think you're in control and you're a pilot and you're not going to fly into a building or anything, turn them off, right? All good. Factory samples, you can delete all these at any time. There's a video manual. There's even a link in the description to the developer's video tutorial, which is really cool. I suggest you go and watch it. I think it's interesting because watching the developers talk about their app is super, super intriguing, and you understand what their vision is, and then you can just throw that out the window and do with it whatever you want, right? But we'll talk about these factory samples. You can delete these. So there's your manuals. You can turn off this animated background. If you've got an iPad that's a little bit slow and clogged up, this will just take away that animation, free up a bit of space, right? But this thing doesn't really take too much space from my usage with it. You can turn this back on. So there's your settings in a nutshell. We'll talk about the presets. When you first load this up, there will be an install preset. See down here? So you can actually install these presets. There's a little thing up here that asks if you, come back over here, factory. Boom, boom, there we go, factory. There'll be a little thing that pops up asking up here if you would like to install all of the presets, and you'll have to download them. It's a very short download, and it gives you all of these. Now, I think it's something like 100 presets. The numbers elude me. There's like 50 samples or something like that, so there's a whole bunch of them. And you can see with these, you've got... let's just go up the top here. So with the init patch here, you can just load the preset, or with the init, load the preset and clear the samples. Now, some of these are just loading the preset, which is, the preset is just all of these commands here, all of these dials and everything. But if you choose something like this one, load with samples, it will allow you to load the samples that are provided from the download with the preset. You might have your own samples in here, right? And you might not want to do that. You can just load the preset here and with your own samples just by hitting load. So there are your two options. Not all of the presets have samples. Some of them are just a preset, but it's pretty clearly marked, right? And if you want to go back to the start, just load and clear, and now we're back to the beginning. So that's that. If you want to save a preset, you can do so down here once you've made one. Update a preset if you've already saved it and you just want to update it. You can add a new folder here as you want. Come in and you'll see I'm clicking this with my mouse and it's not really reacting the way I want it to. So I'm tapping with my finger, but you can create a new folder. I can call this Jade, create folder. And you can create folders as you like, right? Happy days. Easy peasy beneasy. Come back to our factory stuff. Shall we just, where do we go next? In the middle here, we've got this little drop samples or tap to load. So I can tap there and it will open up the Files app and let me import anything I want. Alternatively, I can say swipe up from the bottom here, if iOS 26 is going to let me, and open up my Files app. Let's do it this way. Come on, there we go. And I can now you can actually come in here, hold down, and turn slide overs back. How cool is that? So you can come in here and make a slide over, and we can find where our waves are, which we'll do now. I have some in audio share over here, and you can drag and drop them in, right? So you don't have to just use that. We're going to AUM recordings. I've previously come in here and made some samples. I think they're in here. There they are. So you can drag and just drop them. See how it lights up there, waiting to accept? We'll take this guitar one to start off with. Yeah, we'll grab this one, drag it in, drop it, and there's your sample. You can actually also grab another one and drop it on top too, and drag another one and drag it on too. So you can have multiple samples. And now, let's just scooch this over here. Now, when I click on the little sample tab down the bottom, I've got 3 samples in here, right? Click, click, so you can see 3 samples are loaded. You can have piles of samples and you can spread them out across the keyboard down the bottom here as well, but we'll get into that. Let's firstly come out and we'll just clear everything again. So we're good to go. We'll swipe across like so, and we'll drag this guitar back in. Boom. So we'll just start off with 1 for now. And this is just a nice little guitar sample that I've created myself. Now this is where it gets fun. So once your samples are loaded, you do have this little sample tab down here, and this is pretty much your options for each sample. Now you can get in here and go crazy, right? So depending on which mode you have set, these are your playback modes down here. You've got scanning, you've got round robin, and you've got stacking. So if I hold my mouse over and hold down, when multiple samples are assigned to the same note, all samples will be heard at the same time. This uses 1 voice per sample, so this can effectively reduce your maximum voice count. So basically, if I add another sample in here, it will stack them on top of each other, right? Scanning is a little bit different. Scanning, when multiple samples are assigned to the same note, the relative volume of samples is controlled by the sample scanning control. And you can actually spread these out, right? So it's gonna find the hassle for you finding the right note for this is taken out of it. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background underneath with this app. And you can see I've imported this in here and it's already found this is a middle C. G'day, Wolfstone Studio. Hello, if I've missed anyone in the chat. Leela, hello. So this little black dot down here represents the basis of that note. Here it is here. It's a C3. It's worked it out. It does it all for you. It's very intelligent. And you can see here, this goes across the entire keyboard. Now I can come in and move this little tail around and only have it between 1 octave and drag this and say, you know what, let's just bring this here on the keyboard. So now, nothing else is able to be played. And I could bring in another sample and put that there, right? So you've got complete control over the keyboard. Let's just drag this out back over here. And you'll notice, pay attention up here to where it says range start and range end. As I drag this and let go, it changes up here. So it shows you up here C1 to G4. You can come in here to your heart's content and change these by dragging up and down. So I'm dragging this with my finger at the moment, and you can see that little line on the keyboard moving with it. So you've got complete control over all of this, right? You can go as far as you want on your keyboard. Let's just stop it there. That'll do, right? Now you can change the root note if you want. That's up to you. You can go crazy. You've got volume in here as well, so you can control the volume, and you can adjust the pitch by a few cents all the way up, however you want, right? You can go off, you go to your heart's content, right? 50 cents all the way up, 50 cent, yeah? And you can decide where the sample starts and the sample ends. You can reverse the sample in here. So now if I tap this, we've got a reverse sample. Or you can tap it, and there's a little representation behind here. So you can see when it's reversed and see when it's back. And you can just delete the sample from here as well. You can also, from this page, add a new sample. You can delete all the samples if you've got multiple ones in this list. And lastly is round robin. Well, let's just throw in a couple of other samples to show you round robin quickly. I'm going to grab this string, drag. So you can drag this in here as well too, which is rad. And this vocal. So we'll drag all three of these in. And now we've got a round robin set up. I'm just going to drag this down the bottom. So now, every time I hit a note, it switches between the three samples. You ready? So that's a round robin for you. And I'm only hitting that one note there, all right? Round robin, stacking. They're all going to be together. And again, I can change the volume. That guitar's a little bit too loud, so we can try and bring that down a little bit. Have I got the guitar right? Yes. Now we have this dynamic mode here. Let me tell you, the scanning setting can be updated fluidly throughout the lifetime of the note. So you can have it fixed, or you can have it dynamic for the scanning. So right now I'm just going to delete all the samples. We're clear again. Easy as that. Now also I'm going to just bring in this guitar one more time. So we're going to be adding and getting rid of some stuff a bunch of times here. How easy is it to add a sample? Wicked. Scooch that away. Let's come back over to samples. There are some settings up the top here as well, additional settings. You can shift all sample ranges by dragging. So you can decide how many cents or a full octave, and you can move them all at the same time, which is very handy to have, right? Instead of doing it all individual. Transpose all pitches. So that's all the ranges. Change all the pitches. You can reset sample ranges back to defaults from here and assign all samples to full range. So they all run across the whole keyboard, right? So you can all do it in just one click. Makes it simple, easy, peasy, beneasy. That's your sample page. Let's get into this section here, because this is where it gets super fun, because these are the engines. And this is where a sample can become something completely unique and crazy and beautiful and nothing like the original sample. You've got a bunch of these in here. Stem is a traditional playback mode. So it's pretty much a traditional sample. Repitches the samples. When you import something in, it does all the magic for you, looks after you, covers you, it's got your back, and you're all ready to go. If we've got that selected already, let's make sure. So we're on stem right now. The controls, so these are in blocks. So you've got 3 blocks over here. This is the engine block. We've got our sample block here. And we have this modulation and ADSR 3 over here. In stem, we can start the sample wherever we want. So we can start it over here. So we're just getting the tail. Now, you don't have to use this to drag. You can actually drag this little thing over here with your finger, and you can drag the endpoint as well. And we can tighten this up. You can even take the endpoint the other way. So this saves you actually having to go in and set the reverse. Right now we've done a reverse just by alternating the start and end back to front. So let's bring this back here. Beautiful. Now we're set back to normal. All right, now these we'll cover sample scanning shortly for multiple when you've got multiple samples in here. Let's talk about subvert. So subvert, just give me a second here. Now again, all you need to do is hold over this. Subvert gradually inverts the volume of the sample. It's very, very cool, this, and with an LFO on it, can create some just fascinating sounds. Hello, Joe Glenn. Welcome to the show. Subvert. Now watch as I turn this up. It's going to almost reverse. It's not reversing the sample. It's reversing the width of the sample. So as I turn it up, the high end now is at the end of the sample. And if you get it to the middle, you've got this constant bar that runs across, right? Fucking beautiful, man. Mark's Noise, hello to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So yeah, you can go all the way, get these, and even if you try doing a reverse with this, even more fascinating, right? Just sick. I love this. So that is subvert. And as you bring it down, so you can do it a little bit. And you're essentially creating like a tail on the end here. Ed Zielinski, hello. It's just beautiful. Let's take subvert out of here and we'll subvert. Let's talk about strike. So this thing works kind of on the basis of a piano. And it has like it nudges. See, we've got an ADSR down here as well too. And what's cool about this ADSR, you've got some presets. So if you're not sure how to set up a pad or a string or a flat, right? This is a kind of pluck ADSR. You've got like a keys. And then you've got a pad, which obviously normally brings up the attack. And you've just got a flat. So, but with the strike, it adds these like voices and characteristics to this. So basically, it nudges up the higher notes to become more pluckier, and the lower notes have a little bit of extra hold to them. Let's just show you by turning it up, right? And it does this stereo spread. There's multiple things going on under this, under the hood, right? So it gives it like a stereo spread, and it manipulates some higher frequencies. And yeah, the lower notes are panned to the left, and the higher notes are panned to the right. Add in some subvert. Let's talk about submerge. So submerge tries to add some consistency to the samples. So you would be well aware when you're adding samples and you're putting them across a keyboard, they can speed up and slow down the lower and higher you go on the keyboard. So this tries to use a filter approach to keep it changes the frequencies up. Look, the best way to say it is to show you, right? So submerge rebalances the spectral content of samples for consistency across the keyboard. So you notice as it gets turned up higher, it's almost like a band pass happening. Okay, submerge. Let's talk about, we'll handle these effects and the modulation soon. Let's talk about the next engine we've got here. So this is retain. It uses granular synthesis to sustain samples indefinitely within user-determined bounds. What does that mean? It's got granular. We've got a grain count down here. You can have up to 3 grains. And you'll notice it's a little bit different here. So we can still cut off our sample with this dial here, make it start a little bit earlier, but we can also move this window around. And this is where, once the sample's struck, it's going to hit here, and now these grains are going to kick in. And you can control the width of this. MC like a duck, hello. We can bring it closer to the beginning of the sample. And here we're getting those grains. Let's introduce some subvert. There you go, grains. And again, you can drag with your finger as well on how wide you want this to be, or you can just grab in the middle or grab here and move this around. You've got the controls here to change. So you've got options there. Let's talk about the next one. This is reflect. So repeatedly plays back a section of the sample, very similar to the one we just looked at, but instead of grains, this gives us either a ping pong or a forward and reverse. So we can, again, move this around. So there's your start point and the length of this. So now when I play a note, it's going to ping pong. And you can see it bounce back. You can make this longer. We also have down here, you can decide to have this in seconds or synced to the BPM. So now it's sunk. Let's hit sync. So it's sunk to the BPM now. I mean, this has all come just from a simple guitar pluck, right? And don't forget, you've got subvert. And I mean, this strike, it just brings out these harmonics. You can also go in forward or just in reverse. So nice, man. So nice. And we haven't even got to these yet. So hopefully you get the idea. Radiate. Let's talk about Radiate. So Radiate constructs an additional, additive, spit the words out. Thank you, Aqeel. Constructs an additive synthesizer via sine wave partials assigned for the primary frequencies within the sample. Wait till you hear this. Just beautiful. So tell me what you think this reminds you of. Already you can hear what it's done. I'm going to take out some of this. It almost sounds like an organ now. Hey, Tremor Bear. So it's completely lost its guitar sound already, and we haven't even done anything. Let's show you what happens when we drag. Again, you can change the start of the sample, right? And you can manipulate the size of the window used for analyzing the harmonic content. So what it does, every time you strike it, it's analyzing what's ever in between here to try and find these particles, this harmonic content. And let's show you what happens when I drag this particle. So this is the number of sine waves used to recompose the sound of the original sample. Imagine an LFO on this, eh? Of course, it can happen. And then we have a cross modulation. So this is a cross modulation between all partials to add harmonic complexity and distortion. Or, very similar to a wavetable, right? Subvert it. Now, see that? I went to subvert it. Two of these do not allow you to subvert. So they've got the option grayed out, but we can strike and we can submerge. So you really want to mess around with this and find these harmonics. Just right. Let's talk about our last one here. This is Delve. So this turns the sample into a full-on wavetable oscillator. Yeah. You can decide to start and then adds a sub. So essentially wherever you move this, you're moving this like just think of it like a wavetable, right? Okay, let's come back to a retain and let's talk about these effects because we're running out of time. I've only got an hour. Right. So we're on our grain. Let's bring our grains over. So we have ripple up the top here. This adds like a loose tape emulation, warble, get pretty wild, crunch, filth, warble, lo-fi, destruction. Fuck, I need to change the cassette and get the pencil out and fix it, right? That's ripple. Smear is a reverb. So it's actually placed before this ADSR down here. And you'll notice when you use it, you will lose volume, right? It's a pretty big reverb. If you go hardcore all the way up, add some ripple. About 20 is a nice place to sit it. We've got a filter, right? Here's our filter. Dragging that with my finger all the way to 15k hertz to 0. You got some options in here. Got a high pass, low pass, switch between them. Add some resonance. You've got key tracking, an envelope as well, and you've got some feedback in here. And volume, we've got volume here. So this is the overall volume output, high cover by CQ. Of course, we talked about the ADSR. This follows all of the effects. So that's your last thing in there before it goes out. So it's, well, that's for the reverb actually. So the reverb, I'm pretty sure the reverb's just before that. And then your volumes, of course, your final out. We talked about plucking, ADSR, create some pads, get that volume back up. Right, good stuff. Modulation. Are you ready? So you notice when you tap this little modulation section, everything kind of shrinks down and gives you an overview so you can still see what's happening here, but it gives you the little modulation here and you've still got everything over here. Clever, clever stuff, right? A lot of you can send LFOs virtually anywhere, right? So there's two ways to do it. And let me show you I can make this full screen now. Yes, I can. Look at that. So, LFO. You can drag an LFO. So we've got an LFO. Firstly, let's talk LFO. Swipe down. We've got a jitter here as well too. So this is like a almost sample and hold kind of thing, right? We've got velocity. So you can add destination. And now you'll notice under each of these there's an add destination. Add destination to the LFO. Add destination to the jitter. Add destination to the velocity. We've got random per note, add destination. We've got a primary. So this is the primary ADSR that you see down here, okay? And there's another ADSR in here as well too. Look, a little miniature one. And you can set this to singular, per note, loop, or once. So essentially if you set this to loop, you can turn this into another LFO, right? So it just loops. Lovely. And you can add destinations to the mod wheel, polyphonic aftertouch, key tracking, and MIDI CC. Crazy stuff. Now, we'll just come up here to the LFO. If you hit add destination, come back up here, add destination, you'll get the option to assign an LFO. And let me do it with my finger. Come on, finger. This is the little bug that's going on at the moment. So you can add a destination however you want. And once you've added a destination, you click on this little arrow and here are all your destinations, right? They're all here. Tap on the little, just hover over the arrow and you'll scroll up to find the one that you want, right? So there's all the places you can go. To get rid of one of these, you can just tap the X. I'm pretty sure we can. Tap the little X and they disappear. But what I find the easiest way to do this is up the top here, we've got on each of these a drag to assign. You can tell when they're clickable buttons, they highlight, right? And now I can take this, drag to assign, drag it to where I want, and now my subvert is being controlled by LFO. This gets very juicy. So you can change the morph of the LFO, right? So you can see we can make this fully rounded. We can get it right in tight there like this. You can decide the seconds, how fast it's going to run up and down. See, we've just made that a lot longer, so it's much slower. We've got an animation showing that. You can bring it all the way down, much faster. You can have it by seconds or synced. Once it's synced, click, like so. We have quarter notes, and you can go by quarter notes, eighths, dotteds, all the usual stuff, right? So we'll just leave that at a quarter. Let's come back to seconds, like so. And here's your subvert amount. And you can go into the pluses, or you can go into the minuses. And you can see that's already started animating. So our subvert is now animating. You can see it pulsating. It's wicked. Plus, if you hit the little plus button here, this will, in fact, make it a plus minus. So it'll, and you can see if I add this to, let me show you a better way to see this, is if I drag this filter, this onto our filter and pull this back, you will see with a plus minus, glad this bug's going to be fixed. You will see now this filter will run forward. Let's just drag this up. It now runs forward and back. So it goes back behind. So you've got the option to do that by tapping this little plus. Then we can come in here to our filter, add a bit of resonance. Slow this down. And you can virtually send these to anywhere. We've got a jitter. Let's send this over to our strike and give this a little bit of guzz as well. Add some reverb, bit of ripple. Slow that right down. So you get the idea with the modulation. Absolutely anywhere you want to send stuff, you can send it. The flexibility is off the charts. Let's get back to our samples because we want to add another sample in here. And I'm going to add this ooh vocal. Drop it in. So easy to add samples. Now another thing, just to be clear, right? This isn't a sampler. You can't record stuff in, right? And it's not meant to be that. So if you're thinking that and angry about it, it's okay. There's plenty of other apps that do that. This is an instrument, right? So relax, calm down. So now we've got this ooh in here. And I'm going to change this to stacking. So we've got our so this is a vocal part. And I'm going to come over here. And where are we? We're going to go to get our samples. Oh, we want to go to scanning. So you need to be in scanning mode for this, right? And you'll see now in scanning mode, let's just come back over here to the reflect. This has been added. So when you're in sample scanning, you can move this across and now you'll hear the vocal. Right? And now I can bring in a mix of the vocal and the guitar. Planning on adding recording. Wow, there you go. You've heard it straight from the horse's mouth right here. Now, not only can you do that, so we've got our sample scanning, right, to mix between the samples. You can load in as many samples as you want, right? So let's do that. Let's close this and come back to our little thing. What have we got? Let's add some strings. Where are we? Come over here. We'll add the cello. We'll add a string. We'll add this bop, whatever that is. And we'll add this old piano. So you can go for it. You can absolutely just go for it. Now you've got all these samples in here, right? And now I can come in for each of them and make sure they are, I can drag the range out so they're all the same. Round robin now. If I play one key, right? So if we grab something like now Waymaker, another one of Aqeel's awesome apps, and send this out, choose a scale. We'll leave it in C major, right? We'll change this to a morph, and we'll come in, we'll slow this down to like we'll leave it at a quarter. So it's going to play each note and go do a round robin. Now it's playing them all together. We're still back on the round robin. But remember, you can now come in here to presets and load a preset. What the hell just happened? How cool. So nice. Add your own effects on the outside. Throw in a ridge walker even. Get this to wander. Chuck on a reverb. A little bit of ripple. Hey? Let's add something else. Again, I love adding a brownie into this. So wicked. So wicked. So you can add, this is another preset. I mean, look at this. You can modulate anything, right? You've got the flat modulate, the R. We've got modulations everywhere with this. What else can we modulate? And you can come in and delete any of the waves at any time. It's individually, so I might want to get rid of this string and come in here to the settings. Come back, get out of that. Settings, no, string, and you can delete it from there. So you can remove them. You can drag them, drop them all in at once as well. So select all and drag and drop, easy peasy. Let's just quickly get out of here by loading up some of the samples that come with it, yeah? And the presets. This is that without ridge walk and the reverb. So there's a beautiful selection of samples, but as I said in the beginning, you can delete them if you want, factory samples. Up to you. Save a preset. Let's just do this last. You've got two options. You can, once you've built something, you've built your own samples with your preset, you can decide to save just the preset, just the settings around the samples, or save a preset with the loaded samples you've imported in there. Lots of flexibility, easy to use. This is probably, I'm going to go out on a limb, probably Aqeel's easiest app to use so far. I really didn't need to sit here and have a science degree to work this one out. Thank you. All right, there it is. I think you should have an understanding. I have dropped the link to Aqeel's demo if you want to go and watch that, because as I said, it is interesting watching the developers talk about their app and what their vision is for it and all of that stuff too. It is available on iOS for the cool price of $14.99. There it is. Works on your iPhone, works on your iPad. If you would like to go get it on your desktop, guess what? There they are. All of Aqeel's apps are available there. Happy days. Beautiful app. Really nice. Winner, chicken dinner right before Christmas. I'll be back tomorrow, my friends, and we'll be taking a look at, what are we looking at tomorrow? Hey, I can't remember. What are we looking at? Oh, yeah, we're taking a look at these. Moondrift and Skyfire by Compose Audio for Soundbox. So that is tomorrow. And also, don't forget, my friends, Christmas Day in the US and UK, it's going to be a horrible one for all of you because Gladys Worthington's back here on the channel and she's going to be singing Christmas carols for a very Gladys Christmas. Also, lastly, excuse me, I think I've got some giveaways for this as well for Patreons if Aqeel decides to do so. It's totally up to him. Also, what are we looking at? Let me give you a quick rundown of stuff that's happening. On Friday, before what's that show called? Unearthed. I'm taking a look at iWave Station, which is now AUv3. And, folks, yes, it's coming. Next week, the best music apps of 2025 will be live streaming. Yes. And the best indie songs of 2025 that you guys have made. So, lots of cool stuff. Plus, also, this week, the opening hour is the Wheel of Karaoke. So, there's lots of cool stuff happening on the channel. And don't forget also that, yes, well, I can't forget because I'm heading out to film today. I'm heading out to film the final bits for Unearthed, which is happening on Friday, where I play 10 of the coolest independent tracks each and every Friday. Sponsored this week by Sonora Cinematic. If you are a developer and want to get involved in this show, it's very cheap to sponsor. I make you an ad that I put in the middle of the show because why not? We're trying to get developers to advertise on a show where I'm playing musicians' music. It's the easiest way to get to musicians because their ego crazy and they want to hear their own music, right? All right, let's get out of here. Thomas Cross is up next. Russ has got a premiere with his stuff. All the things. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's Oge.